Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Christina, and in today's video, I have another impromptu video where I want to share with you some things that we're going to be using that are kind of time sensitive. So I figured I would just film a quick video to share them with you. So I have two sort of seasonal studies that I'm going to be doing with my kids over the next few weeks. And one of them is the 2024 US elections from Gather Round Homeschool and the Playful Pioneers Volume 2, New England from the Peaceful Press. Now I'm going to talk to you about this one first because this one is even more time sensitive because this is specific to this particular election. Now we've done other studies as a family about the US and government and how elections work and all of that, but what led me to grab this is specific to this election, the information and candidates and everything specific to right now, this particular election. And what I love about it, it isn't just a 2-day unit. So I don't know, this may be the shortest unit that Gather Round has ever come out with. And it's probably also their only unit that is not evergreen. Like it's not something you can use for years and years because it is so specific to this election. And it is also only like $5.95, I think it was. So I could not pass up this opportunity. I did print and bind these, but you could definitely just print and staple because they are such small little booklets. But what I love about it is it follows the same Gather Round format where you are reading the main lesson together as a family. And then there is a student level notebook that has their independent work at their level to dig in deeper to that reading and topic that you focused on for the day. So there is pre-reader, early elementary, upper elementary, middle school, and high school. So 6 different levels, I think. I will share with you that I printed out the teacher's guide and the ones that I printed out for my 5 kids. I think I'm just missing 2 levels, but you can kind of fill in the blanks in your mind and see how they would be similar or different to what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to do a flip through of these really quick, and then I'm going to share with you a little bit about the Playful Pioneers New England unit. Okay, so really quickly, I want to do a flip through of the ones that I printed. So this is the teacher's guide. This is just a 2-lesson unit, and it's specific to this election, which is why I got it actually, because we've done things about government and all of that in the past, but this is specific to this election. So there's a welcome letter, table of contents. Lesson 1 is about how this is a historical year. So this is the reading that you do together as a family. There's a family devotional, a hands-on activity, and some vocabulary for lesson 1. For lesson 2, this is all about voting day, meeting the candidates, watching the news, family devotional, hands-on activity, and vocabulary again. And that is it for just those 2 days of lessons. Now for my 4 and my 6-year-old who turned 6 today, I did choose pre-reader just because this really wasn't about challenging them. This is really just about them feeling included. And as much or as little of this as they're interested in is totally fine. So there's a welcome letter for them, table of contents, polls about favorite seasons, some information about Democratic and Republicans, so tracing and coloring and just looking at symbolism, what makes a good leader. They're repeating the poll again. There's some mapping, and then a little bit about mail-in ballots. And then that is it for pre-reader. For early elementary, similarly, I could easily do upper elementary for my 9-year-old, but I'm not trying to make it be challenging, just to make it engaging and obviously informational. So table of contents here, information about the polls and practicing taking a poll, Democratic and Republicans. You can see it's covering the same topics and themes, just at different levels for your different age kids. And then what makes a good leader, more polls, mapping, and some information about mail-in ballots. Next up, we have middle school. This is for my 13-year-old. So welcome letter, table of contents, information about polls, Democratic versus Republican, what makes a good leader, all about the numbers, a little bit about swing states. This is all about kind of like the timeline of how everything works. And in the appendix, they have electoral votes by state. So that is a middle school. And then lastly, we have high school for my almost 17-year-old. Welcome letter. Table of contents, information about polls, Democratic versus Republican. It looks very similar to middle school, but not exact. What makes a good leader? All about the numbers, swing state predictions, the timeline, and the electoral votes by state. And so there is still early reader and upper elementary that I did not print or show you guys, but you can kind of fill in the gaps in your mind. Like early reader is going to be between pre-reader and early elementary, and then upper elementary will fall in between early elementary and middle school. So I would definitely go check this out. This is only really going to make sense for this election. So if you grab it this week and print it out, again, it is just a few pages each. You could easily staple them, stick them in a binder, just have them as loose papers, whatever works. Okay, so I hope you found it helpful to see what was inside the U.S. 2024 U.S. Elections unit from Gather Round Homeschool. I will link them down below. I am not affiliated with them, so I don't have a discount code or anything like that for you guys. But as I mentioned, I think it's $5.95 to get the whole unit. So all of the levels that you need for all of your kids, which is like a no-brainer for me. The Playful Pioneers Volume 2 New England is a 1-month unit, which of course, like anything else, you can customize it how you want to use it. And so I will not be doing exactly everything that's in here, but I will be pulling from it to study New England and Thanksgiving leading up to Thanksgiving. So if you've been around, you might remember that we did the full year of Volume 1 of the Playful Pioneers, which is early American history. And it took us about 1.5 years because we used so many different resources and units, but we really loved it. And I was not going to do much study of like New England and Thanksgiving this year, but I do really like to do a little bit of something to tie in with what's happening in real life and kind of what's going on in that particular season. Plus, we are going to be going on a field trip to Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts, which if you're not familiar with it, it is kind of like a recreated town based on what it was like in the 1800s. And we did last year, was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year. We went to Plymouth Plantation, also in Massachusetts, which I think was the 1700s. So it'll be interesting to see, like, you know, colonization moving just like a little bit inward, a little bit more towards the interior of Massachusetts, a little bit later on of a time period, but a great comparison and connection to what we'll be learning about in Playful Pioneer. So I want to give you a quick flip through of this as well. Again, this is a 1-month unit, but you can customize it to your particular needs. We are going to be doing it over the course of probably like 3 weeks and picking and choosing what I want to do from the unit. So you can get the full Playful Pioneers curriculum, which is a year-long early American history curriculum. This volume 2, New England, just focuses on a 1-month study of New England. So you'll cover New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. And then in week 1, you're going to be looking at Squanto, Pilgrims, and Bird Migration. Week 2, Weather, Sabbath, and Weaving. Week 3, Longfellow, Hiawatha, Sailboats, and Wind Speed. Week 4, Thanksgiving, Sea Shanty, and Steamboat. So you are going to have this parent guide. This tells you a bit about it, kind of like what the focuses are for the unit, understanding how the grid schedule works, the different elements like Bible, reading and language arts, math, which is not included, phonics, spelling, and handwriting. It's giving suggestions for making this a complete curriculum if you want to, which is we are going to be doing our same regular things while just adding this in and kind of looping it with other things that we're doing. And then history and science, practical skills and art, field trips, which we are doing a field trip to Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts, free reading, and the student sheets. And there are recipes. So I may not be doing everything in here. Final thought, so this gives you some more information about it. But I am using this kind of as a guide. You have your list of supplies from books that you need to free reading suggestions for different age groups, supplies that you'll need, crafts, and things for recipes. and then the student sheets that you'll need to print. So you cover hymns and poetry in this one, the Mayflower Compact, the Pilgrim Wampanoag Peace Treaty, the Song of Hiawatha, Thanksgiving Day, and then you get to your weekly grid for your lesson. So it is a 4-day-a-week schedule, and it gives you something to do for each of these: Bible reading, language arts, science and history, and then art and practical skills. And then if you want to fill in what you're going to do for math, phonics, spelling, and grammar, you can do that. So it shows you exactly what to do for morning time, what you're singing, the Bible reading, prompts to pray, your read aloud, your language arts, your science and history, and then for seat work or their independent work, it's suggesting you have them do their math, their phonics, spelling, and grammar, whatever that is, free reading, and then practical skills and arts. And then it goes through the 4-day week in that same way. So it is structured, if you're familiar with the Peaceful Press, in their same format with the weekly and daily schedules. And it is just 4 weeks. So I have not printed like the art or recipes or anything like that yet. I'm going to be doing that over the next couple of days. But I didn't want to wait any longer to share this because you might want to be starting this soon if you want to finish around Thanksgiving. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed seeing a peek at both the 2024 U.S. Elections Unit from Gather Round Homeschool and the Playful Pioneers New England unit from the Peaceful Press. I will link them both down in the description box below if you're interested in grabbing them. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments, and I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos. Until next time, stay rooted.